I want to talk about this.
This is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we're here.
Okay.
That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
no
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
I want to talk about it in the context of WWJD. So I'm sure you're all familiar with the story of Jesus flipping the tables. If you listen to me, I mention it all the time in the environment of Christian nationalism out of control. Here's a story in Matthew 21, verses 12 through 13 in NRSV. Then Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who were selling and buying in the temple, and he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. He said to them, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." In John, the story is given more detail. The Passover of the Jews was near, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and the money changers seated at their tables. Making a whip of cords, he drove all of them out of the temple with the sheep and the cattle. He also poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. He told those who were selling the doves, "Take these things out of here. Stop making my Father's house a marketplace." Pretty intense, right? And yes, this was still nonviolent resistance, even though he was destroying property. But I want to focus on the phrase den of robbers. It's referenced again in Jeremiah 11. "Has this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your sight? I too am watching, says the Lord." See, a den of robbers is a place where robbers run to after they've committed a crime so they can stay safe. For this, I like to think of the mafia and the Catholic Church. Murder on Saturday, Mass on Sunday. Jesus' point was that the church of that time had become a safe haven for evil. It had even become a place that protected evil. In this case, that evil was mostly greed, but it wasn't limited to that. Now, you can deny this all you want, but the Bible is insanely clear on immigration. Here's a verse from Leviticus that's pretty hard to argue with. This is Leviticus 19:33 through 34. "When an alien resides with you in your land, you shall not oppress the alien. The alien who resides with you shall be to you as the